Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I am so excited for this class. Hold on. I don't want to double hear myself, but I thought I would actually pull it up on my phone in hopes to be able to see the comments as well as my video feed. So that I know that you guys can see everything and I'm in view. So yeah, I am super excited to be able to do this class with all of you guys. Oh, it's losing focus on me. I know I'm like a few minutes early, so we can chit chat for just a second. And then I will start at 7:30 on the dot. Of course, I feel like all my clocks are like just a hair off. Like, you know, my phone says one, my laptop says another, the clock across the room says another. So it's just like each one is a little different. But yeah, whenever you jump on, then say hello, give me a little shout out. I'm so excited. I'm not normally on in the evenings, so this is kind of like new and different. But yeah, I can't wait to show you guys these cards because like I just think that they are so stunning and I love them. I love this entire suite. Like sometimes whenever I play with something, I kind of get tired of it, especially like whenever it comes to like Christmas cards and stuff like that. I sometimes like I'm like over it and everything. But this suite I am loving. So yeah, I'm super excited to do these cards with all of you guys. Hi, Laura. It's getting late there. Yes, you guys are an hour later. I'm hoping that this, like, I don't know, we'll just kind of see how long this takes. Part of me thinks it'll take like just an hour. Like it definitely should not go over 2 hours. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm thinking like an hour and a half. So I hope we're not on too late for you. After all, it's past my bedtime too. The kids keep me on my toes all day long, and I'm up usually between 6 and 6:30, and that's early for me. But anyway, it is 7:30 according to my laptop. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started. So of course this is the Eden's Garden stamp class, and I did have the kits for sale, but those are all sold out now. What you can still purchase though is the PDF tutorial. So I do have the PDF tutorial available that does have all of the measurements, the supplies list, and the step-by-step instructions. So you can look at that at tinyurl.com/Eden's Garden card class. So you can get that there. I might try to leave this like towards the top of the screen so that it's still kind of popping out there. Nope, push that way too far. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that in, but yeah, so that is still available. You can purchase that. It's on my Etsy store, but it's in that tinyurl.com/Eden's Garden card class. So if you do have your card packet, then you can stamp right along with me and everything. If I'm going too fast, don't worry. You can either replay it or just do the stamping right now and assemble them later. But don't worry if I go faster than you or anything like that. You'll definitely be able to rewatch this here on Facebook as well as on my YouTube channel. So this video will be free for everyone. But then, of course, you can always stamp right along with me. If you do purchase the PDF tutorial, you can then cut everything and create all of these cards with all of those directions and everything too. So this class uses the Eden's Garden stamp set. We are actually going to be using all of the images in this stamp set, so I'm super excited about that. I find whenever I can use all of them, it makes it super versatile and And I don't know, I just feel like it's more worth it whenever I actually use all the images. And with these 5 cards, I sure did use all of those images. There's also the dies. So there's the large frame, like greenery die. There's the small frame one, which actually fits just inside that. So I will show you how you can save on the gold foil when we get to that card by putting that in the middle. And then there's also a single little one that even fits in the middle of that. And then, of course, we use these two. And I will give you tips and tricks on how to make sure that your border image here is lined up so that it's straight on your project each time. And then these are just little Post-it note tabs that I use to hold that in place. Hi, Denise. Live on a Friday evening. I sure am. This is the Eden's Garden card class. So I will be doing 5 cards using the Eden's Garden suite. The stamp set and the dies, of course, are available now and into the new catalog that starts in January. But the designer paper, the gems, and the cotton paper are actually not available after January 3rd. So let's get started. We're actually going to get started with this card only because when I did this card live yesterday, then this was the card that we started with. So I just feel like this is the card that I should start with today. So again, if you have your card packet, feel free to stamp right along with me. If you purchase the PDF tutorial, then you can also do that as well. If not, you can watch tonight and enjoy, and then you can always rewatch it again later and stamp right along with me. So I have the Evening Evergreen card base, and we're just going to fold that in half, and I'll use my bone folder for that nice strong crease. And then I have this gorgeous strip of the designer paper. I mostly use the foil side because, let's be honest, I have a really hard time covering up that foil. Like, using the other side's beautiful too, but it's so gorgeous I can't cover up the vellum. Hi, Karen. Hi, Susan. I am so excited to have all of you guys on with me tonight for this Eden's Garden card class. So next I'm going to go ahead and put the gold foil piece on my card front with dimensionals. So I'm just kind of doing all of the layering that I can. And you guys all know I'm a dimensional overuser, so we're going to kind of do like an inside-outside sort of look here. Hi, Colleen. Denise, you've been eyeing this bundle. Well, you are going to fall in love tonight because you're going to have so many wonderful ideas to inspire you on how to use this bundle, and you're going to love it. So this just goes right in the center. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of scoot these a little to the side. And I'm going to pull in a piece of scrap paper and my Evening Evergreen ink pad and my blending brush. So now really you could use the blending brushes. You could use a sponge dauber. You could use a sponge. You could even use like a paper towel too to be able to get this look. So whenever I use the blending brushes, one of the biggest tips that I have is to never start on your project. So we're just going to pick up a little bit of ink off of the ink pad. So just a little, tap, 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 dab, dab, dab on the ink pad. And we're going to start on the scrap paper and then work our way in sort of a circular motion. And this is going to be a subtle look. And if you like it like that, that's great. If you want to go more, just keep working at it. I know I kind of have like a love-hate with this look. I love the look, but you guys know how like impatient I am and how I like things dark. And so then I'm like, okay, come on, this is taking too long. And then I end up overdoing it. So you can see I have like a very light look here. And I'm just kind of going around. We're actually going to do this to the soft succulent piece that goes on the inside of the card, but we're going to do it on that front Whisper White piece as well. And again, this, like, you can do it as much or as little as you want. Each one I've kind of done a little different. You can see, I don't know, I did these fairly similar, but they're, you know, just a hair off maybe. And then you can see where it was. Now I'm going to do that white piece. And for the white piece, we're pretty much going to fill the whole thing except for like a small spot in the center. So same technique, start off of your paper and then kind of come into the paper, working in a circular motion. I find that the circular motion sort of gives it like a soft look rather than a streaky look. How is everybody's day today? We have potential for tornadoes tonight. How wonderful is that? Not. Yeah, crazy weather here in the Midwest. It was like 65 degrees when we went outside this evening for our evening walk. So yeah, it's like really nice, but yet creepy because it's what, December 10th? Okay, so I kind of have the middle still open and I'm just gonna like lightly go over the middle. Okay, I'm done. Not gonna do any more because I don't want to overdo it. So now we're gonna take that big flower image from the Eden's Garden stamp set and ink it up real nice and stamp it in the center-ish. Fabulous. Oh, it looks like Brad and Claire are watching from upstairs. So they said hello. I'm sure she'll come down for a good night greeting and hug and kiss. Let's celebrate everything. You know, I feel like it's still a little white, and so while I said I was going to stop and not go any farther, I think I'm going to do a little bit more. Just to kind of soften that green a little bit. And if you don't want to do the blending, you don't have to. You really could do it however you want. Remember that no one knows what mine looks like. So no one has to know what the original is. They're not going to know whether you did it right or wrong. Okay, so now we're just going to add this to that gold. And this one, you can really take any of the little greenery items. I'm going to take the smallest one and just stamp it there in the corner. But like you could really use any of those like greenery pieces. Add adhesive to this one. And this goes on the inside of the card. It's time to get them out, Denise. You should totally get them out. Try them. They definitely take like I don't necessarily want to say a learning curve, but you know, they kind of take like a soft hand and they take a little bit to figure it out. So get them out, get some scrap paper, play with it a little bit. I've done some fun things with it. I feel like I want to do more. I'm starting to get a little bit more used to them and finding that they're really fun. You can see this one I did a little darker and this one is a little bit lighter. So each one's going to come out a little differently and that's okay. So that is our first card. I will also say that these are the Eden's Garden gems. So if you got the card kit, then you got these gems. There's the two different styles, the like long skinny ones and then the other ones. Those I actually didn't use on any of these sample cards, but you can put them on any of them. You can use them to cover up a mistake. I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, why do we embellish? We embellish to cover up mistakes and make the most fabulous card ever. So when one thinks it's a mistake, then it just becomes the most gorgeous card ever. So yeah, you can use those as much or as little as you want. You have plenty to be able to use those. So, oh, let's not forget to stamp our envelope as well. So I'm just going to stamp that same little greenery piece that's on the inside, just right there, as well as on the lip. Aw, Susan, well, this kit is sold out. I plan on doing this online card class every single month, so hopefully all goes well with that. And the next month's card kits will be out soon, so you can get one of those. So stay tuned. More kits and classes are coming. And again, you can always get the PDF tutorial if you would like, and then you can recreate these cards with the supplies that you have at home. Okay, on to card number 2. So we have thick Whisper White cardstock, and that's what I'm using as the card base. So whenever I use a card base of white or vanilla, that's whenever I like to use the thick, because the thick is, it's a little stronger, and whenever I stamp on the inside, which of course this time I didn't, I used a layering piece, but if you stamp on the inside, it won't bleed to the back, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh, Denise, I'll make sure that Brad and Claire see that you said hello. Hi, Ruth, welcome. So excited to have you guys all on this Friday evening. So now we're just going to take our gold foil, and we're going to adhere the gold foil directly to the evening evergreen. And we're just going to put it towards the bottom. It does go flush side to side. And press. And then we're going to tie our ribbon on. Oh, it looks like Claire came down to say hello to everyone. So, come here, babe. Do you want to say hello to everyone? Look. Can you say hello to everyone? Mommy saw your greeting that you said. Okay. Tell everybody hello. Say hi, friends. Look, Susan says hi. Say hi, Susan. No. You're tired and ready for bed. Okay. Night night, baby. Mommy loves you. Night night. Okay, so, oh, they're all saying they love you.
Say bye.
Yes, she is tired. Okay, so now we're going to take our open weave evening evergreen ribbon, and we're going to tie it around the evening evergreen and the gold together. And I'm just going to tie this into a double knot. So no bow, no chaos with that. Also, if you are not a fan of bows, then this is totally the class for you, because we actually only use ribbon on one card and there's no bows. So it's perfect. So now I'm just going to trim my tails down. She is tired and she is so much of a routine girl. And this is not routine for me to come down here and not help with the full bedtime routine. So here's hoping it goes well. And I think she's just upset with the fact that it's not going the correct way. So you can use your regular two-sided tape with this, or if you have problems with the ribbon, you can always use some tear and tape, which is a little bit stronger, helps with any sort of like pop up where the ribbon is. And a little tip for you, if your ribbon happens to be loose when you tie your knot, what you can then do is flip your card over, cut it in the back, pull tight, adhere the two ends, and then trim off some of your overlap. So that way on the front, it still has that nice knot that you created, but on the back, you took care of the pull tight part. So that's another fun little trick that you can use if you have that fabulous knot on the front side and you just can't seem to get it tight enough to where it's not, you know, dangling or sliding off or anything. So now this is going to go directly onto our card front. And we have our inside piece, and our inside piece has that same giant flower stamped in the corner, kind of off a little bit. And then we have our little guy who we're just going to add. I totally should have left my scratch paper here. We're just going to stamp a few times to sort of give like a look of like elongating the corner and filling in. So again, you can do that with any of those greenery pieces to be able to get that like that rounded corner look. So now I'm actually going to clean this off because I'm actually using soft succulent rather than evening evergreen for those front pieces. So again, in your packet, you got a piece of scrap Whisper White, and you're just going to take your favorite punch. I'm using the Everyday Label punch, and I'm punching out 3 of these labels. And this is the Everyday Label punch. So these are going to go like up and down. And I'm going to stamp this little one towards the top in the soft succulent. And then I'm going to pick 2 other ones. So there's 3 options. I'm going to leave this one out because this one's kind of small. And I'm going to use the 2 bigger ones to kind of fill the label in a little bit more. So does anybody have big weekend plans? Are you going caroling? Light looking? Is that a thing? Light looking? Looking at lights? Are you decorating and working on your Christmas stuff? What are you up to this weekend? Okay, the hello that I did here is actually the greeting hello there, and I just inked up a portion of it. So I'm just going to ink up like half of it. And look, and I need to go a little farther in. And I'm good, but just to be sure, I'm going to kind of rub on the edges of the T just to make sure that I didn't get any ink there. And then I'm going to stamp hello. Boom. Nailed it. Finishing up your Christmas cards, that's a good plan. I'm not going to lie, you guys, I was super nervous about getting that. You know, whenever you're live, it feels like sometimes all of the crazy stuff happens when you're live. So, you know, I kind of expected that to not come out correct. After all, I'm just the same kind of stamper as the rest of you guys. I don't have any special magical powers. I definitely make mistakes. And like I said, that is why we embellish. Okay, so for these, there's a couple different ways that you can do it to line them all up. One of the ways is to simply place each of them down upside down and then flip them over and adhere them. The other option is what I usually do is I do the outside two and then I center the inside one. So like you can do this and then just flip over each one as you go along. But what I typically do is I do the outside two. I'm mostly just going like a hair in from the edge. A hair in from the edge. Actually, it's more than a hair. It's like a quarter of an inch. And then this one is just in the middle. And I'm so glad that I remembered to leave the greeting one for the middle. So there we have that fabulous piece. And then we just need to add that inside panel. And this one, I actually think I'm going to add one of these jewels right there next to the hello. So it just adds a little extra bling. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Kathy. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to have you guys join in on this Eden's Garden online class. So I'm doing complete 5 cards using the Eden's Garden suite. Oh, we have to do our envelope too. So, I already closed my soft succulent. So yeah, I'm doing all 5 of these cards. The kits are all sold out, but you still have the option to purchase the PDF tutorial. And you can even purchase that right now, and it's an instant download. So you can then walk right along with it. If you want to go right now, it is tinyurl.com/Eden's Garden card class. So there is our coordinating envelope. Why do I have ink right there? That is making me nervous. Oh no, I hope I didn't. Maybe I just touched one of the stamps. I just don't want to get it on me or on any of my projects. So there we have our second card. Thank you so much for sharing this, Cindy. That is awesome. I appreciate that. I'm talking this whole time and I have a feeling like I'm just going to be like super parched whenever I'm all done. Okay, so now we're on our third card. We're going to do the hello there card. This one has a soft succulent card base, and we're just going to fold this one in half. Use our bone folder for that nice strong crease. And then this one, I have the designer series paper, and then I have some of that cotton paper. I don't know why they call it cotton paper. To me, if someone said cotton paper, I would think it would be like soft and maybe like cottony, you know, like a t-shirt material almost. This is thick tissue paper. Like, that's what it is thick tissue paper. It's, I don't know where the cotton comes from, but we're just going to tear the top and the bottom. And I know so many people always say, oh, I'm a horrible tearer. And not T-E-R-R-O-R. But just don't think about it so much. Just go ahead and rip it. I wouldn't ever plan on like doing one full swoop, but instead sort of like guiding your fingers down and ripping as you go. And then it kind of gives like a softer look. And you don't have to tear it if you don't want. The other tip with this is to use the adhesive on the designer paper instead of on the cotton paper, because it doesn't like to stick to the cotton paper. The cotton paper sort of has like a shiny film to it, if you will, and it really just like resists. So I'm just going to add that there. We're going to add this to our card front. Again, gorgeous backside, but I just can't cover up that foil. Okay, and then we have our white piece, and the white piece goes on the inside. So on the inside, I just used, again, one of those greenery pieces. You can pick whichever one you want. This one I did use in the Evening Evergreen ink, so the darker ink. So I'm just cleaning that. I'm going to go ahead and clean the Hello Friend while I'm at it, because I'll be using that again. So for this, I actually inked it up and stamped twice with not going back to the ink. So I'm just going to stamp and then rotate and stamp again. And then flip it over. And I'm going to stamp, rotate, stamp again. And that's what kind of gives that like light, dark, varying shade. And then we're going to use the Dear Friend, How Are You? And stamp that in the center. Very simple, very fresh, and fabulous. Perfect for just a generic Happy Mail card. And then now we have that front greeting that we're going to use the die with. So that uses this die. And we're going to pull in some of that scrap paper. And am I going to be able to get one of these here on the end? Ooh, I can. So I actually can get it on the end. So I'm just going to trim off all of this. And I'll bring in my little mini, my little cutesy one. And we're just going to die cut this right now. Make sure it fits exactly like I wanted it. You guys, I'm telling you, I love this mini and I use it all the time. Like, it lives on my stamp desk. Like, it's the little star of the show. I feel like the full-size one just sits over there and like the baby took over. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my Take Your Pick tool and the little poker end, and we're just going to poke this out. Usually once you kind of get it started, it's pretty easy to pop out. But one of the other things is you can always use the poker tool to get it started. And then one of the other tools that I like to use is the pancake flipper side. And with the pancake flipper side, you can sort of like slide it under there. And like now I can just like slide it around and pop it out. Whoop! And I'm dropping this all over the place. Okay. And it looks like there's still one last little piece in there that I need to poke out. There we go. So now we have our fabulous little label, and we're going to stamp Hello There onto it. Boom. And then this is added to our card front with Stampin' Dimensionals. Totally got my head into that one. I apologize for that. But I was nervous. I wanted to make sure I got it like lined up fabulously. So which card is your favorite so far? Did you guys like the first one? Or the one with the 3 punched images? Or this one with the cotton paper? So this just kind of goes like slightly diagonal. And this one, I am going to go ahead and I'm actually going to add 2 of these like long gems. Again, my original doesn't actually have the gems on it, but I thought I would do a few gems on these samples tonight, since the kits came with the gems. So I just kind of wanted to show ways that you could use the gems. And because these gems are like stunning, and I'm not going to lie, I got so many ideas on how people use the gems on their projects last night. And so I feel like I want to do the same with mine. That one's maybe like a little too close, but see how I just did the two little gems within like the little flower or like the center right there? The second one is your favorite with the 3 panels. Okay, and then this one we need to add a little, totally got that right in the ink. So I'm going to do that same technique where I stamp 1 and then rotate. And I'm going to do it in this corner too. 1 and then rotate. So now it matches the inside of the card. Super, super cute. So which one do you like better? Do you like the one with the jewels or do you like the other one? I feel like the other one looks like naked now. Like the one with the jewels is like, bam, that is gorgeous. And the other one just looks naked, when I never thought the other one looked naked before, but now it does. Isn't that amazing though? Those jewels are stunning. You like the first one? Oh, that's so funny. Is he gonna let you use it even though it's your Christmas gift? I hope so. Tell him I said that you have to. No, don't get me in trouble. You're not confident in placing them. So one of the things that I super love to use now is the take your pick tool. I find that I can like place it and then I can put my finger over the top. I felt like whenever I use my finger, I like place it and it's like a hair over from where I wanted it. And I'm like, what happened? So I feel like I have better control of like getting my fingers out of the way and placing it. Now I use the putty tip a lot, but I do know a lot of people use like the poker tool or the pancake flipper. That's the fancy version, or the fancy names for this, pancake flipper. But that helps. So the next time I place one, I'll kind of try to leave my hands out so you can see what I mean whenever I'm placing that down. He will. Oh, how fabulous. Okay, so now we're on to the 4th card. This is the Hello There card, and I want to show you guys how I did this center strip with the die. So you can see that the die has a dotted line, and then it has this gorgeous border to it. And I wanted my greeting strip in the center to be 1 inch. So what I did was I measured 1 inch in the middle and then spaced it out to be the edge of my die. So if you have this kit or if you're following along or anything, what I did is I have a 3 inch by 5.5 inch piece here. And I took my ruler and I measured on both ends. So there's like 2 different ways that you can do this. It kind of depends on if you like eighths or not. So you can either find the center point, which is 1.5, because it's 3 inches. So half of that is 1.5. And then do 3/8 to the left and to the right. So 3/8 to the left. Oh geez, we're in a tornado warning. Is a warning worse than a watch? Which one is it? And then we're going to go 3/8 to the left. So what that ends up being is 1 1/8 and 1 7/8. So 1 1/8 and 1 7/8. I think I hear Brad coming, so I don't think that's a good sign with the tornado. So we're going to make a mark on either of those. And then I'm just going to draw a line from both sides to my marks. So drawing that straight across. And then that is where the die is going to go. Are the sirens going off?
I got an alert on my phone
I did too.
for 45 minutes, 38 minutes.
I did too on my mom.
Okay, so now we're just going to line up the die on that line. So let's see if you can see the pencil line is right there, and that's where the edge of the die is. A warning is worse than a watch. Be safe. Oh, thanks, Laura. Yeah, let's hope everything is okay. Alex is in bed. Claire still isn't asleep yet. So the bad thing is like it's for another like 40 minutes. So that's like a really long time, it seems like. Sometimes with these detailed ones, I like to go like down and then back again. I think with this one though, I'm just gonna go, I'll just look at it. Since I have the sticky, then it helps hold it in place. So yeah, hopefully all goes well. If the power goes out, I'll lose internet connection, so I'll lose you guys. But hopefully we can get through these last 2 cards before anything bad happens. And hopefully nothing bad happens. Okay, so there's the one side. I'll poke out the rest of those after I do the other side. So now I'm just lining it up with that other pencil mark. If you're using your little one, that's great, it fits. If you're using the big one though, I would suggest like rotating it a smidge, because when it goes through the die cutting machine like at a diagonal, it seems to cut better than if it goes like straight through. Don't ask me why, I have no clue. This one, rather than going all the way to the end and like having it pop, then I'm just gonna like go back and forth a little bit to make sure everything is die cut perfectly. Okay, so now that we have that, I will tell you, like, you don't have to do the measuring. The measuring is something that like I normally probably wouldn't do, and I would just wing it. But I had to do a whole bunch of them, and I wanted to show you guys how to do it. And I was getting really annoyed by the fact that it was like off like even a hair. I'm like, it's diagonal, it's not right. And it was driving me insane. So now I'm just popping the die out. One of the other things that I recommend is see how the cardstock sometimes stays in the die. That's fine for like 1 or 2, but after that you probably want to punch them all out. Otherwise there's so much cardstock in there that it's not deep enough to allow the cardstock through to cut. So you want to like, you know, pop them all out, which I won't clean my die here on camera for all of you guys. So now I'm just going to punch all of these out. And now our piece is ready to go. So here is the Whisper White piece, and we're gonna get that little bitty one, and I think I need to clean this off because I think this has soft succulent on it, and I want the Evening Evergreen. I hope the PDF tutorial wasn't too confusing with that. Like, I sometimes find it hard to like figure out the best way to explain something. I'm so much better speaking it than I am writing it down in words. So yeah, I hope that all explained how I did the measuring for that and everything else. So now this goes onto the soft succulent that we just die cut. And this piece is going to cover up those pencil lines. And did I get ink right there? See, now that's where a jewel needs to go. Right there where I got that ink. Okay, so we're going to set that aside and adhere these two pieces together. So this is just a piece of the Designer Series paper onto the Evening Evergreen paper. And there's only 1/8 of an inch. There's a big storm coming?
I'm staying down here.
You're going to stay down here. Okay.
Hi, friends.
You wave at them?
There's a big storm coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Tell all of our friends about the big storm.
So it's moving quickly. It's staying down here. Yeah.
She's going to be our little meteorologist, I guess. So now I'm just layering this onto our soft succulent card base. And then we're just going to add this. You could add this with Stampin' Dimensionals. Believe it or not, I did not. I just layered it on flat.
I like those.
And it's going to go right to the center. And it goes flush side to side. And this one, we're going to have to add some jewels. So, Denise, here you go. So here's the jewels. Here's the putty tip, which I almost feel like it needs a little bit more putty out. But it kind of like takes a second. So what I do is I simply press on the side of the jewel over. Yeah, there we go. So I don't like dab at it. I press and just push on the side of it. And I'm just going to add it. So like I set it down and then you can kind of like pull the putty out or you can put your finger there. So like I literally put it right over top of that boo-boo mistake that I made. So I'm going to set it there so you can then put your finger over the top and pull your little take your pick tool out. Or you can just kind of like rotate, like sort of like pull away to the side. And there, oh wait, did we do the, yes, we already did the inside. Oh no, we didn't. I already forgot that. So on the inside, we did the little greenery piece, the smallest one. And stamping twice, again with that full strength, and then that stamped off once. And then I did the greeting, my heart is tied to yours, tug if you need anything, which I find to be the sweetest greeting ever. And then now this just goes on the inside. Hi, Charity. Charity, are you nervous about this weather?
Hi, Charity.
Say hi, Charity.
Hi.
Okay. Go back in there. And there we have that one. Oh, let's do our envelope too. So we'll just do the little one. And I'll do that like side to side thing. Where I kind of do two of them, stamp, stamp. And that is card number 4. Okay, this one some might say is the hardest one, and I saved the hardest one for last, but it's okay. We're good. We got this. So for this one, I have in the packet, there's our envelope. I have the white, and this is the thick white again, just to make sure, since it's our base, then I decided to use the thick. And we actually are going to be stamping directly on it. So for the inside of this one, I did that my heart is tied to yours, tug if you need anything. And then I stamped that in the dark, right in the center. And then I took the wispiest one, the one that I haven't actually used just yet. I inked that up, and I'm actually going to stamp off twice. So I'm going to stamp once, twice, and then over my greeting. Just ever so lightly. Like, don't super press or anything, just ever so lightly right over the top of that. And then you have a gold piece. If you got the kit, there's the gold piece here. So for the gold piece, I actually have it big enough for you to do the large frame, the small frame, and the little one. You could do all at the same time and get all of those pieces to use for various projects, because we only need a few. Are you going to put him in the unfinished part? Nothing like having my first online class in the midst of a tornado going on. So yeah, we're just going to power through and try to get through this last card and hope that all goes well with the kids and everything. So sorry for the slight chaos going on, but that's life with chaos. So I have all of these. There's only 2 of them that you actually need. Let's see. I have the full one die cut. And since I actually just have my mini over here, I'm just going to die cut the small one with another piece of the gold foil that I have sitting here. So I'm going to put this like a little diagonal just because I find that it actually works best, like I said, whenever it goes at a small diagonal. And I'm going to crank it through and back again. Whoop, that went a little bit in the ink pad, but that's okay because I'm only going to use part of it. So now we're going to pop this out. And you can either use your scissors or take your pick tool. But I'm just going to pop this out and then use the pancake flipper side. This one is very delicate, so you do have to be really gentle. So now I'm just going to slide this under and ease it up. So I'm just kind of like rotating it a little bit, and that's what like makes it real gentle. And then you can kind of, after you get like some of it, see, now I'm nervous that I'm going to end up ripping it. Okay, and it looks like all the little holes came out. Perfect. So now I'm just going to use the fine tip glue pen. It's not really my favorite ink, or I mean glue, but it does do amazing for fine areas. So I'm just doing like a few spots here and there. And then we're just going to put this right over the top of that greeting. And press. I like to kind of press for like a good, 5 seconds or so, just to give the adhesive a chance to soak into the cardstock and hold nice and tight. And there you have that gorgeous inside greeting. So then for the front, oh, I better put my my cap back on my fine tip glue pen. So in the packet, you have 2 of the designer series paper, 2 each. So you can do front and back. So we're actually going to use non-foil side of the paper for one of these projects. And I just lined them up every other one. There's no right or wrong to it. The piece of Evening Evergreen goes all the way to the edge of the cardstock. So it's 5.5. So this, actually, the 2 outside ones go all the way to the edge of the cardstock. So again, I like to start with the outside and then work my way into the center. So since it goes flush with the edge, I'm just looking at the top and the bottom to make sure that the top and the bottom have a similar border to that. And the same on the other side. So now with these 2, I'm gonna do the same thing where I kind of place them down like almost at the same time-ish. Just to make sure, but you can also just kind of eyeball it and do this one and then this one. I will say that the greeting is going to go in the center. So if they are a little off, it's perfectly fine because the greeting is going to cover up. Like my center strip is a little bit more than it should be, or more than the rest. But with the greeting in that center area, you don't really have to worry because that's gonna be your focal point. So you'll do just fine. No worries there. So again, we're gonna pull in that piece of basic white scrap and punch another label. And you're all done with this, so you actually have extra white scrap for if you happen to make a mistake or anything like that. You'll do just fine. And then now we have the Sending Hugs, and I'm doing that in the Evening Evergreen ink, so full strength. And then we're going to use that same wispy little one, and I'm going to ink it up in the Soft Succulent, and I'm going to stamp once, twice, and then just ever so lightly over my Sending Hugs for that same little wispy fun look. Okay, so now we're going to go back, and there is a piece of Soft Succulent in the packet, and we're going to die cut one of those labels that we die cut before in the white. So technically, I think if you pushed it all the way to the left or to the right, you would be able to get 2 of those out of this piece that's in your packet. So don't worry, you have plenty in your packet to be able to get the one that is needed. And if you're wondering what the packet is that I'm speaking of, is the card kit. The card kit is sold out at this time. So stay tuned for the next class on getting that card kit. But you can also still get the PDF tutorial for this class so that you can recreate these cards either in different colors or the same colors. And you have all the measurements and everything that you need for that. So if you would like that PDF tutorial, there's a link in the description box, but you can also go to tinyurl.com/Eden's Garden Card Class. So now we're just gonna pop this label out. And then, let's see, I got a few little spots that still need to be popped out. And then we also need some gold. So earlier, I said that you could die cut the large frame, as well as in the center, you could die cut one of those little bitty ones too. So out of the dead center. So you can use whichever one you want. I just used a small section of it for the background here. So you could just cut a little bit out of one of these by simply just cutting here and then maybe here. Oh, it's still attached right there. So there's like a little piece that you could use. You could use anything along this, this strip. So as you can see, you can get a lot of these out of this piece to be able to decorate with. And that piece is just going to go behind our soft succulent piece. So what I did is I added a little bit of adhesive on either ends of the soft succulent and then sort of pressed it in. And it looks like there's not a lot there. So I am going to use, actually I'm not going to use the tear and tape, I'll use a few little mini glue dots. So I'll add a few little mini glue dots. You could probably actually use your tape runner adhesive back here because there's enough solid on the pieces I used. It kind of depends on if you use the more wispy ones or the more like solid ones. And then this little piece is just going to go, I think I'm going to use this one on the end here. And I'll add a few of those glue dots. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of flip it over. I might do a little trimming of some of the spots just to kind of round them off a little bit more and make them look like they weren't cut off. That's some crazy thunder going on out there. Okay, so then this piece is just going to go on the back of the label. If you wish to have your label come in a little bit, I actually cut this and then just kind of took a chunk out of the middle and added it to the back of my stamped greeting. So I wanted it to be like a little bit like snugger, like a little closer to my greeting. So I just cut the back and placed that there. Okay, well, the lights are flashing, so hopefully I can finish this card before we lose power. And that's going to go directly in the center of our card. And then this is going to go on the card front. And remember that this is going to go flush with the edges of the card. So there's a top and a bottom gap, but it's flush with the edges on either side. And then with this one, I'm going to add a few jewels just to add a little extra foo-foo around. And I'm going to do that same pattern that I did. And that one went flying. I don't know where it went, but here's one of them. Oh, here it is, right on my laptop. There we go. So there we have that one. Oh, and we need to stamp our envelope. I will use, oh, that little wispy one. And I think I'm just going to stamp it once. Okay. So there is our final and fifth card. Laura, I hope I'm not keeping you up too late, as I know you're an hour later. I'm so impressed. It's actually taken me just an hour to do all of these. Thanks, Susan. I'm glad that you enjoyed these. Like I said, Susan, don't forget, I will have card kits for the next card class, and those that one will be in January. I'm just going to bring back all those samples. The samples I did tonight do have the jewels on them, whereas the ones that I did for the PDF tutorial don't actually, like those photos don't actually have the jewels on them, just because I wasn't so sure I wanted to do the jewels on there, and mine hadn't arrived at the time that I took the photo. Sorry, just another warning going off on my phone. So yeah, I'm so glad I was able to finish all of these cards before anything crazier happens, or we lose power or anything like that as this storm system comes through. I'm glad you guys all loved this. You're not even sleepy now. Well, now you can stamp all night long. So let me know which one your favorite one is, and stay tuned for the next online card class that will be coming in January. I had so much fun chatting with you guys and sharing with you these beautiful, beautiful cards. Again, I left a link in the description box so that you can purchase these products as well as the PDF tutorial for these cards, and then you can always rewatch this video either here on Facebook, or I'll also be posting it on onto YouTube, so you can check that out there. And again, you can go to tinyurl.com/Eden's Garden Card Class, and that will take you directly to my Etsy shop that will have the instant download PDF. So if you're raring to go after seeing these and you want to get that PDF download instantly, then you can stamp these tonight and have fun too. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Yes, stay safe wherever you guys are as well. We will stay safe. I will try to do a check-in tomorrow morning, just to let you guys know that we're all still good and we made it through all of this. So yes, I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. Happy stamping. Have a wonderful evening, and goodbye.